This episode of the D-Lew Podcast is brought to you by Happy Wrap. You ever wanted to design your very own gift wrapping paper? Now is your chance to do so. Whether it's for the holiday season, weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, no matter what the occasion calls for, you can use Happy Wrap to wrap your gifts. As a matter of fact, you can even design notebooks, greeting cards, gift tags, and so much more. You can sign up today at happy.thedlewpodcast.com and use the promo code DLEW to get your 10% discount at checkout. Again, that's happy.thedlewpodcast.com and use promo code DLEW to get your 10% discount at checkout. By Simpler Hair Color. Hey guys, are you tired of using that drugstore hair dye brand that isn't getting the job done? If you want to use a great product to cover those grays, have no fear, Simpler Hair Color is here. No mixing, no dripping, no mess. It's super easy to use, whether you're a beginner or a pro. Go to simpler.thedlewpodcast.com and use promo code DLEW10 for your 10% discount at checkout. Again, that's simpler.thedlewpodcast.com and use my promo code DLEW10 for your 10% discount at checkout. And by WWE Shop with Fanatics. Get your favorite WWE superstars merchandise and wear them proud with superstars like the OTC Roman Reigns, Rhea Ripley, the Second City Saint CM Punk, John Cena, Main Event Jey Uso, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, and so many more. Oh, by the way, they got some really cool championship belts in there as well. So go to wrestling.thedlewpodcast.com. Again, that's wrestling.thedlewpodcast.com so you can go to WWE Shop with Fanatics. This podcast is a Believe Network and Siete production. Welcome to another edition of the D-Lew Podcast, powered by Believe Network. I'm your host, Derrick T. Lewis. I hope the week is treating you all absolutely wonderfully as we enter into the weekend. Last weekend, of course, yours truly returned to the world-famous Mazda factory after 2 months of being away. And I definitely missed the Paulsboro faithful, but of course, I returned for the Larry Sharp Memorial Cup tournament. And ladies and gentlemen, we made history. The first ever female to not only win the tournament, but the very first Monster Factory champion. Her name is the Notorious Mimi. I had an opportunity to do an exclusive interview with her for the YouTube channel. So make sure you go to my YouTube channel, Derrick T. Lewis, The Real DT Lew, the D-Lew Podcast. You can do in a search engine, subscribe there, and you'll be able to see not only that interview, but all the video interviews that is on the RSS feed of the D-Lew Podcast. And speaking of the Monster Factory, it was just announced this week, officially, Turkey Slam, the Monster Factory, will be returning to the famous 2300 Arena, aka the ECW Arena in South Philly, on Saturday night, November 22nd. Tickets are on sale now. If you go to the 2300arena.com, look up events, and you'll be able to see Monster Factory's Turkey Slam. And again, they're on sale right now. Get your tickets now before they run out. Well, this week's episode is going to be a little bit different. As I launched this show 2.5 years ago, granted, it was going to be pro wrestling based, but of course, I was going to give opportunities to recording artists, actors, actresses, influencers, models, etc. And I'm still sticking to that. And this week, I have a recording artist coming out of El Paso, Texas. It's Dresto, and we talk about life, we talk about music, and how it all intertwines. And let's not wait any longer. My interview with recording artist Dresto starts right now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce this very talented young man all the way from El Paso, Texas. He's gracing us with his presence here on the D-Lew Podcast. Recording artist Dresto. Thank you so much. How you doing, man?
Thank you for having me. Yeah, well, I'm doing good, man. Today's like my day to relax, man. Actually have more time for me, because everybody needs that,
Absolutely, man. You're 100%. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You just really recharge and just, get back in that state of mind that you need to be.
100%, 100%.
Yeah,
Now, like as I alluded to earlier, you are from El Paso, Texas. So talk about life growing up in El Paso.
man, life. I mean, life is not from the faint of heart.
Hmm.
Because like growing up, like it wasn't even there was never handouts. There was like no people like actually. I have a lot of people to look out for. Just my brother and just my mother. That was basically my shit. So it was just like I'm a survival, I would say, because like me growing up, I would be moving. I was moving around from elementary school all the way to high school, just moving houses almost even like 4 times a year,
Oh, wow.
just because we couldn't afford it's just like my mom coming from Mexico and like just coming here, like
Hmm.
it was like it was something that she wanted to do, so she wanted to risk it, like so she can give us a better life. But I mean, it all comes with a process, man. You know.
Indeed, indeed. So through your childhood, how did music come into your life?
Well, I mean, like just like music is like everywhere. So just like I just got intrigued by what was it like, mm, the story of how like Lil Wayne started his career. Because everyone know he started like since he was 12.
Hmm.
Like probably even earlier than that. But I don't want like to that's another story to talk about. But what I mean is just like just having the this sounds in general. Because I was one of those kids that like would try to like create any sound with just like tapping anything just for the like just to play around, But then
Right.
like doing that, like and I start like combining it with music, then I start like really molding something and germinating something that could really express myself and who I am.
Wow. So talk about some of those artists that was influencing you at a very young age. Who were some of those artists that, whenever you would listen, you would get influenced by? Who were some of those?
Well, UGK, I grew up with a lot of UGK, Three
Hmm.
Six Mafia,
Hmm.
Lil Wayne, and Eminem.
Eminem.
But like I also have bands, but that started like when was it? Because I never listened to bands, I was just rappers. But when I started listening
Hmm.
to bands, like was like during my freshman years in high school,
Hmm.
and I started like 21 Pilots and Imagine Dragons. So those two are like some of my favorite bands, which I've been molding with my music because that's been like a really big inspiration to like my come up whenever it comes to like really finding my sound.
Right, 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 right.
Yeah, yeah.
So you mentioned Lil Wayne and you mentioned Eminem. Talk about some of their albums that really drew you in because
Mhm.
people could talk about, Carter 2, Carter 3, and everyone puts Carter 3 at the top, you know what I mean? And Eminem, I mean, his catalog is as long as
Yeah,
the longest street in the world. So talk about
definitely.
some of those albums that really drew you in.
Carter 2, Carter 3, and Carter 4 for Lil Wayne because I always like how almost every album had like I said own story to it, and he
Yes.
never really like repeated the same feel. And once I was like, I'm a damn, dude, it's like an upgrade, like because no, like especially for the Carter 3, nobody thought like that was even gonna be like a thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carter
Yeah.
4, believe it or not, one of actually my favorite song off of Carter 4 is She Will
Also, the
because
Carter Five, a lot. Carter Five is like it's hated. I don't even know what's hated, but it's a really great album in my opinion.
yeah, no, I mean, I liked it too. You know what I mean? Some folks weren't too keen on it because everyone was expecting Carter 2, Carter 3, Lil Wayne. I'm just like,
Hmm.
with time comes evolution. You know what I'm saying? With
Yeah,
sound, with subject matters and everything. So not every album, to your point, not every album is going to be the same. It's going to have its
and
own
also people
story.
get old, so I mean it's not gonna always sound the same.
Absolutely,
You
absolutely.
always get that stuck with one thing, but like
Right. No, I totally agree. Now, when was it that you made the decision to become a recording artist? When was it that you decided you wanted to take this seriously and get into the business in regards to being a recording artist?
Man, when I started finding ways to produce my own and actually having more leverage with me, because I used to just go to the different recording studios and people don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still go. I'm gonna do that, but I mean, just want to have my own
Hmm.
setup, my own place to record, and
Hmm.
just really focus. Is having my own recording studio. That's what really helped me like really become more serious. Because I was serious, but once I got like my own setting, that this is it.
Right.
This is what I need to do. This is what I'm destined to do.
So it was more or
Yeah.
less about once you got that equipment, was it the Mac or whether it's your, speakers and your interface and all these other
Mhm.
things, all the software you needed in order to get where you needed to be. That's when you started got it, totally
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. I mean, I was like music was just like it's like like part of my spirit.
Hmm.
So I mean, and I always wanted to do it, but once I got the studio, it was like, you know what, like I can even make this like help people too. You know, that's what I want to do too. Is help artists like more. You
Right.
know.
Okay. Now, talk about the steps that you took into making your very, very first record. You're talking about obviously, writing it. Then you have to, as far as getting the track, as far as
Absolutely.
whatever samples or whatever that you have to write, as far as lyrics, then you have to mix down, then you have to get it mastered, then you got to go to the business end in regards to distribution and all that. So talk about all those steps you took into releasing your very first record.
Well, it started when I purchased the beat from one of my buddies called Santofino,
Hmm.
and I told him to sample. He sampled so like I think it was like a little snare from Till I Collapse. And
Hmm.
he actually wrote it for one of my songs called Hard to Pound. You can that song is only available on SoundCloud if you want to go listen to it. Well, that record it started. Well, I already had the lyrics before that, so it was
Hmm.
just a matter of like getting the lyrics and the flow from what I already had before I had to be, and just really sinking in with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, once you released it, talk about the feeling you had of accomplishment once you were able to get it out there to the public.
It felt great because honestly, because everyone starts like bad. Like everybody like has it's a process to become where you're at. Like it's always
Right.
a process, matter of fact. So it was actually like a milestone to be because it was one of the first records I produced, mastered, and mixed myself before I even before I even did anything else.
Good
Hmm.
feeling, huh? Yeah. I mean, I could tell you as a fellow recording artist, I can still remember the first, like literally like the day that I announced that I was putting out music and nobody knew I was doing it. And when people finally was able to hear what I had to say on my first
Hmm.
record, they were just like, "Whoa, I didn't know you could sing." You know what I mean? And this is something that I hid. This is a project I
Yeah,
hid
you
for a
catch
year
them
and a
off guard
half.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do. And I was just like, "Yo, man, this is really cool." Like I said, if I never do this again, I can always say that I put out a record. I put out a single, and
Hmm.
it was a pride and joy that you can't purchase and you can't just it's really something you really feel within you. To your point, music is in your spirit because it is. You either
Hmm.
love it or you don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta love it or you don't. It ain't for anybody. It ain't for anyone. You know.
Now there was one record that really I gravitated towards, and it was a record called Yamame with AML. And
Mhm.
I actually did a collaboration. It was a English to Spanish record 2 years ago with Angie Stars. Shout out to Angie Stars. I had a record called Espacion, and we also do it in English and in Spanish as well.
Mhm.
Talk about the creative process in that collaboration you did with AML because I really enjoyed the album. I mean the actual single.
Oh yeah, it was amazing, man. Because at first I wanted like to. That song was just gonna be myself. I already had the lyrics. I mean, matter
Hmm.
of fact, I still have the old version, which was the demo, and I haven't released it because I mean it didn't happen, and I was doing the song with that girl.
Right.
But I already had the. I even have a different hook. It wasn't even Yamame. Yeah, it was something different. So
Hmm.
I mean, I was still debating if I mean if it was finished because I already had recorded a lot of stuff. Like the
Hmm.
verse you see in that song,
Right.
that verse is original. It was already in the like in the demo or whatnot.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it was already in the demo. So it was still because I already was in a state of my man. I mean, because at first I wanted to have somebody in the hook, and I was reaching out to people, but I wasn't having no luck. And I said, once I had everything recorded, I said, you know what? I'm gonna send it to a couple more people, and if I don't get anything, then I'll just keep it like this. Go with my engineer Kevin, just master it. I mean,
Right.
I ain't gonna wait around for anybody. You shouldn't wait around for anyone. No.
No, 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 no. Because I'm sure you've experienced throughout your career
Yeah,
that
yeah. You
if
have
it's
those
not,
moments. You have
yeah,
those. Yeah.
they're gonna procrastinate with your project, but they're not gonna procrastinate with theirs. I get it. Trust
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. So yeah, I sent it to AML, and she ended up being the only one that responded actually. And then the next day after, she came to my house and she already like wrote something,
Hmm.
but like Yamame was just what's longer from the beginning. You know how your
Hmm.
hair is long, Yama, and like in the beginning, it was longer
Hmm.
than that. And she was originally gonna do that like as the verse, but then I told her, hey, why like that sounds like because she was just doing it like as a melody thing.
Hmm.
And so why don't you do it as the hook? And we switched it and we moved it from the intro to the hook part. And
Hmm.
then, I mean that it became what it is. And man, that record was so fun because it was actually actually my second Spanish record. And I mean, just being a Mexican, just having the opportunity to make a couple like Spanish records every now and then, it just feels good. Feels like me still being in my roots. Not saying that I don't get off, because I mean that'd be kind of weird, but I mean,
Right.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Now, let's talk about your vision. And I had an opportunity to do some research.
Mm.
And you said Fade your strives to inspire through music, offering an alternative voice to violence and negativity. And your message is treat music as a business, focus on longevity, and celebrate transformation. Go into deeper detail than that because I like that. And I want to hear from you
Yeah,
about how you can internalize that, from there. How do you bring that out in regards to your vision?
yeah, man. Like, can you repeat that again? Because it was a speaker that I wasn't
Oh no, I was just
wasn't
mainly
sure.
saying to go into a deeper place in regards to your vision as far as your mission statement and things of that nature.
Well, my mission is to really have a voice for people who don't don't really have the power to speak up and
Hmm.
have been through the stuff that I've been through, like homelessness and
Right,
heartbreak and all that, and let people know that there is the opportunity to transform and actually get out the cocoon of
right.
the struggle. Let people know there's there's an end for everything.
That's a good way to think, man. And I think, through music, you never know whose life you can change. If it's when I had this thing and I
Yeah,
had this saying, if I could change one person's life because of my music, I think I did a really good job.
absolutely, man, absolutely. And I mean, you're making music based off yourself, based off your story, but
Agreed.
sometimes like making the record that can be related to a lot of people can really struggle but and then really make people like gravitate towards you, and then really people
Agreed.
love to relate to stuff, and
Hmm.
once people know they can relate to something, they become a fan.
Yeah, 100% about that. I mean, look
Hmm.
about it. Think about how you were influenced by Lil Wayne, how you were influenced by UGK, how you were influenced by Eminem. You know what I mean? And look at what
Hmm.
you're doing now, and you could use that influence to inspire another. And that's just going on and on and on. And who knows? You may have somebody that's not even born yet that might be influenced by you 20 years from now. You never know.
And nobody knows. No, nobody never knows the next chapter until you see it. See
But
it for
absolutely.
yourself.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, talk about the producers that you've worked with, that you've collaborated with to make the magic happen. Shout them out and talk about those experiences you had with some of those producers.
Yeah, I work with Olivier Basel
Hmm.
and who's the other AJ. AJ got the juice. Olivier Basel he has make records for artists like Tory Lanez and NBA YoungBoy and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I also have he's not a producer, but he's a vocal arranger, which is Conrad Robinson. He's
Hmm.
a well-known vocal arranger in the industry. A lot of people don't know. And
Wow.
who else? Man, I ain't been collaborating with a lot of people. That's been doing that. That's one of the main things I've been doing. I have a whole list, and I can be here sitting all day talking about that. But yeah, I'll say a couple more. I'll say just a couple more. My brother's a producer too. When We Vanish, you can look him up. When We Vanish. And last but not least, oh, my boy Chris Karat's Beats. He's a great man. I mean, I would name more, but I don't want to spend all day just talking
No,
about
it's
that.
cool, man. No, hey, listen, man. But hey, you shouted them out, man. That's important, man. And the fact that
Hmm.
they were part of your journey, your musical journey, and your career, that's a good thing. You never know what that could turn into later, later on down the line. But I wanted to ask, and I should have asked this
Hmm.
first. How did you
Yeah,
come up with the name Fade Dresto? What does that mean?
yeah. Well, at first it was just Fade. Fade because that was my name when I used to tag. So that was like my nickname. Everyone would call me Fade, Fade this, and that'll be one of my names when I when I tag. So that's why I'll be tagging everywhere, and then people will
Right.
know me for that. But because I did that back in like high school,
Hmm.
but once I like started getting in trouble with that a lot because I did it like stupid. I started like just doing something different, like for my own self, just staying out of trouble.
Right.
And that's when I started like really just writing more, just focusing on more music and just reading a lot of books actually. And I came across what was it? I think it was a dictionary books. It was weird
Hmm.
because I was going through my grandpa's like library vault that he had. Like my grandma, rest in peace. Um, Yeah, it was a Greek dictionary, and I was going across the book trying to like because I'm interested. I mean, I like what kind of words they be having.
Hmm.
And once I got to the D section, I saw a word that was dressed, and it said
Hmm.
I'm sad and angry at the same time. That spoke to me at the time because I was going through a lot, and then I just thought of it like adding it as a last name for the name I already have as being an artist, so it became. From faded, it became faded, dressed, and then I wanted to just make it pop more, and then I just added a dough at the end. That was about it.
It's a dope name. It's definitely a dope name.
Yeah,
Now, what makes you passionate and gets you motivated in regards to creating music?
just having the ability, having the knowledge to create music, and just having the opportunity to express myself,
Hmm.
and just having the really tools at my grasp. And that's what just inspires me a lot because nowadays in this era, everyone got the tools. A lot of people don't see it, right?
Yeah, no, I can't argue with that. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, right there in your grasp, like what's his name? Like Jim Carrey said. Jim Carrey said something. He said he would carry. I think it was a $100 like a fake the $100 $1 million bill in his wallet. I don't know if you ever heard that story.
No, no.
And he'll carry some um some little notes in his wallet about dreams that he wanted to make happen.
Right.
And he always said that he'll carry that around, and that'll make him like stress less because like and making that humble actually. If I can look around, I'll send it to you later because I don't have the video right now.
No, it's cool. I mean, Jim Carrey has said
Yeah.
some interesting things over the years. It really makes you think, and he's
No,
one of
that
the
guy's
most talented people in the entire entertainment industry, bar none. But I know you had a collaboration with AML. But who are some other artists that you would love to collaborate with in the near and distant future?
absolutely like I'll name a few. I like him. Bryson Tiller. I like Bryson Tiller.
Hmm.
Jesse Reyes, Lola Brooke,
Hmm.
um, Kendrick Lamar. And who else? Oh, Russ. I like Russ.
Okay. Now you have a new video out that just came out maybe a month or so ago called Home,
Mhm.
and very, very deep. Talk about that for a second and what went into making that record
Yeah.
and the music video, because I thought the music video was very, very creative. Talk about that for a second.
Well, the song is basically about a time where I was in this relationship, and when I lost it all, that's when I found out like who was real and who was not.
Hmm.
So, excuse me, she left me when I was going through my worst, and just before all that, like she used to be like my home and everything, and used to be like my rock, and used to be like the person that like my best friend, you know. So that's
Right,
why the song is called Home because I'm still like like grieving because of that, because
right,
like somebody left me because after after I was going through something that just not make it as genuine as I thought it was, you know. So I went through that, and the song is just me trying to like find my way back to my real home, like because also like you shouldn't let love like get you lost, because love can be dangerous. Love can be dangerous sometimes, and it can be mentally and physically. It can both go both ways, so you gotta
great.
watch out for that. And to some, it can be mentally, and I was afraid of that actually because I'm not a violent person. So I was afraid of that. So I was trying to find my way back home in that song,
Wow.
and just trying to like also me talking about like just facing reality because a person cannot just be obsessed with that he wanted it so bad but it just didn't happen. It was just not gonna happen. You're just like in love with it. You're just obsessed. Like
Right,
just get about that mind, you know. So just me realizing that was me just facing myself like yo, you like that, like she didn't love you, man. Like it might have been like good when it wasn't like this, but just her doing that, what she did when you were going through this, just speaks volumes, and just let you know that probably and quite frankly, it wasn't even what it was, and it wasn't even ever what it was since it started. It was just like a fuck around takedown, you know?
wow. No, it's deep, man. But the great thing about what we do as artists is that
Mhm.
we're vulnerable, both on the happy side and on the sad side.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That first record I was telling you about, my first record was a breakup record.
yeah,
It was a ballad called Selfish Pride, and it was really telling the story about how everything ended. And obviously the music video was fiction. Obviously, I'm not trying to get sued,
Hmm.
but you know what I'm saying. But it was one of those things where I was able to get that out of me, and the best stories are the real ones. And the fact that you were able to tell your story and be vulnerable, because we could talk about the happy stuff and this, that, the party, the club, and all that. But if you're talking about some real vulnerable things, you know what I'm saying, that could bring your fans and even people that may have listened to you for the very first time to bring them in and say, man, Faye Dresto's a real one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
So what's the surprise? What's something that people will be very, very surprised to know about you?
Oh, something that people would be really surprised at. I know. I I can't. I'm a man. A lot of people don't know this. I mean, I'm not good. I'm not good, and I mean, because I used to help my sister. I used to help my sister like with her hair when she was little. So I
Okay.
know how to do hair here and there.
You
That's
were
a lot
being
of
a
people
very,
don't
very
know.
good brother. You were being a very good brother, big brother at that. So that's good. That's good
Right?
to
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
man. So
Yeah.
with that being said, how does Faye Dresto define success?
I define success by your stamina and your resilience and your ability to really um know where you're going because you gotta know where you're going.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Success can be defined in different ways, but that's to me the way that I define it. And also, like success is also defined, and it should well first it should be defined by, okay, I'm not I'm not successful to have a $1 million check. If I don't see that, I don't feel success. And that's I mean, success is the point when you get something done. Doesn't matter what it is. You made a record, you finished producing the record, that's
Hmm.
success. You finished writing a bar, success. You
Right.
finished writing a double entendre, success. You finished sampling, success. Like to me, that's the way. But a lot of people can see it different. But staying in in that way to me has really helped me not be obsessed of just an endless endless hold on something that I mean it's not yet in your grasp, you know?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So if you can celebrate those small wins, man, you'll feel better about yourself and you'll feel more confident about yourself than celebrating only um, those times that you do something like extraordinary. I mean, everyone can do something extraordinary, you know?
Yeah,
But
you hit
yeah,
the nail
you
right on
should
the
be
head,
celebrating
man.
yourself every day. Success should be celebrated every day in big ways, small ways, whatever ways. Success is every day. Success is happening as we speak, as me and you do this interview on this phone, on this program, on D-Lew Podcast. This is success. Success is having the opportunity to speak with you. Success is you having the opportunity to speak to me. Success is success.
I can't answer. I can't even follow up with that because you're absolutely correct. And we also have to remind ourselves as creative beings that you define your own success, just like you said, because I think a lot of times people see, whether it's on the gram, whatever it might be, that, oh, they
Yeah.
got this or they got that or they got these many
You
streams
know
or
what
this,
I've
that, and the
seen?
other. Right.
Yeah. You know
But
what I also seen? I've seen
okay.
some people that sometimes. I mean, it's quite admirable, like the people who tattoo their dreams that they want to achieve. Like that's amazing. That's amazing. You want to get a Grammy? Amazing. You want to get an
Right.
Oscar? Amazing. You like you want to do whatever it is that you want to do. But sometimes, and I've seen it, like people be putting these these tattoos that that's like I mean like for example to the Grammys and whatnot,
Hmm.
they think like putting that tattoo like sometimes can because they think just by putting that tattoo is gonna that they're gonna get it. Just by putting that tattoo, so they get off route because they already have that tattoo. Oh, so I can see that every day. I shouldn't be thinking about that. I already have it in my skin. I shouldn't be thinking about it. Now it's become
Right.
something. You know, I can see it every now and then or whatever, because I already have it in my skin. So
Hmm.
they get focused on that. And so and sometimes it's I mean just I don't know. To me, I don't like to tattoo something that I mean it just hasn't happened yet. I mean, it's cool to dream. Like to me, just in my skin, I'm not gonna do it. I'm tattoo on the before, after. You know,
Right.
yeah.
Now,
It's like yeah.
I want to ask, what's what's the most proudest moment of your career so far?
The proudest moment of my career so far, man. It's a lot and a lot of things I shouldn't speak about, but yeah, one of my proudest moments was the fact that I started worrying about what fucking people think and just like not chasing anyone. Just not just like focusing on myself and just putting God first and actually being more close to God. That was one of my proudest moments because I came to the conclusion that sometimes I must really remove myself from everything and just really see what needs to be let out.
Right.
So that's what it was. That's one of my proudest moments, honestly. Still is today, humbly speaking, because it made me become more of me. Not saying that I wasn't me, but can really channel myself more because not all of us are really channeled to ourselves 100%.
Right.
Not all of us, yeah. Not even
Man.
me. But yeah, that really made me recognize myself a little more than I should actually, and just and actually inspired me a lot. Just having the ability to sanitize myself,
Wow.
really.
That's deep, man. So before we close
Yeah.
out, are there any projects that you're working on that you can speak about? Are there any live performances that are coming up? Where can the people see Faye Dresto?
Well, here's the thing. I am having a show, but it's gonna be announced tonight. Like the day is gonna be announced tonight. So if you wanna really be part of it, stay tuned tonight and pay attention to my story because I'll be announcing the show tonight, later on tonight, midnight actually. So stay tuned.
So by the time this show
Yeah,
drops, it'll be Friday. So you are just go to Faye Dresto's social media.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
going to give
yeah,
it out in just a second. Just go to his story and he'll be able to let you all know where he's going to be performing and definitely check him out and follow his movement for sure. Where can people follow you on social
yeah.
media, your YouTube channel, everything else?
Absolutely. I'm gonna get my website at www.fadedresto.com, and right there you can even access my APK. You can even access some of the services I also provide because I have my own studio, so I provide like mix and mastering and collaborations and stuff like that, producing beats, whatever you name it. Just call me, and I can make
Well,
it.
I'll tell
And
you right
also,
now. Okay,
you
go
can
ahead, go ahead.
also, yeah, you can also check out my Instagram if you wanna. There's also I have another page called Faith Just the News, so you're right there. You can stay up to the latest news of my career.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Perfect, man. Well, I'll put it to you right now. at some point there has to be a Derrick T. Lewis Faye Dresto collaboration somehow, some way. I'm hoping we can
Oh,
do something
somehow,
down
some
that.
way, we're gonna find the way.
Yeah, man, I would definitely love to collab with you somewhere down the line, man. Because like I said, I tapped into some reggaeton um vibes 2 years ago at Espacion, and that's
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
Peterman.
Yeah, man. So it was fun to tap into that, and I may want to do a round two of that somewhere down the line. But like I said, thank you so much, for taking the time. I know you're a very, very busy man, to come onto my platform to talk about career, life, more career stuff. And like I said, best wishes to you, and all the things you have going on career wise. And I'm sure that our careers and lives
No,
will cross paths
absolutely.
sooner or later,
Likewise
man.
to you, man.
All right.
I'm just wanna reflect to people, be like a mirror to people sometimes that are going through to that's like because I know there's people out there sometimes going through stuff and also need that that one inspiration so they can get back around. So that's what I'm here for too.
Yeah, man. Definitely. All right. Well, that does it for this week's edition of the D-Lew Podcast. Again, thank you so much, Faye Dresto, for stopping by, telling your story, and best wishes on your performances, and future releases, in the near and distant future. As I said at the beginning of the episode, if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to the D-Lew Podcast, wherever you can find podcasts, as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pandora, and of course my YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube, just go on the search engine, The Real DT Lew, Derrick T. Lewis, or the D-Lew Podcast, and hit the bell and hit all so you get all notifications whenever there's new content on my YouTube channel. All right. Also, you can follow the show on social media on all platforms at the D-Lew Podcast. Of course, you can follow me, Derrick T. Lewis, at the Real DT Lew, with the exception of Facebook, which is Derrick T. Lewis official page. You can hit up my t-shirt store in regards to pro wrestling at Pro Wrestling Tees at pwt.derricklewis.com. And you can hit up the Derrick T. Lewis official merchandise store where you can get that official Nike merch over at shop.derricklewis.com. Well, I'm going to get out of here, guys. And as I always say, no matter what it is you do in life, always remember to make it count. See you next time.